Oh, lovely old Les Paul Jr.
Yeah,
Look at that
had to restore it, but I got a pretty good deal on it.
Wow. 50...
55.
Wow, how spectacular.
Yeah, the guy just played cowboy chords on it. There's hardly any wear past like the 7th fret on the back of the neck. It's pretty funny.
Brilliant. That's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, not everyone was Leslie West, on those things. What are you running it through?
This is a 59 Vibrolux. That I ended up getting it just before Michigan closed down.
Oh.
A friend of a friend was selling it for an old lady, and it was her husband's, and he'd been dead for decades. So,
right.
Cool story. Cool stories for both of them. So
that's the lovely thing about those kinds of instruments, isn't it? Is there's a backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, man. Well, thank you for picking this up. Thanks for being a part of this.
Yeah, this is really cool. I never pass up an opportunity for a guitar lesson.
Oh man. Well, I got your email about kind of what you wanted to work on. As far as anything from coming up for air, if there's a particular song, I can totally show you that. There's nothing spectacularly difficult about any of those tunes, which is as long as I can remember them.
Let me look at the track listing.
Yeah, sure. But also, you were talking about your pentatonics and how you'd like to connect them horizontally, which I can definitely show you. And then, as far as speed stuff, I can help you there too, for sure.
Yeah, like something as simple as let me just look at the track list here. Yeah, I was thinking like something like Tear Down the Walls, or even like Come Home off of Roll Away to do the scale stuff, because I know the main riff is so I've got that part down, but the soloing part and the improv part is what I think I could.
Oh, well, I mean, there's when we're looking at something like Come Home, the great thing is you've got E. So you've got, half of the open strings to mess with. And you've got your first position, which looks like you're pretty familiar with. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, those notes. So if you like using that as a starting point, I can kind of show you how I might approach a solo and work my way up a whole octave.
Okay.
If that helps.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, just to kind of breeze through quickly and then break it down. So I would, especially with a solo, what you want to do is create an arc. You don't want to just, depending on the song, you don't want to just go in, all guns blazing, foot on the monitor. So a really good way of doing that is start low, end high, right? It kind of, that's kind of generally the rule with these things. Not always, but in this style for sure. So I would start up here and I'd play a lick, something like so there's your rhythm.
Yep.
Something fairly rudimentary. So you've got those licks down.
Yep.
Now a good way to start climbing up the neck. And at any point, Nick, if this is stuff that is already familiar, just yell at me.
Yeah, the rut that I get into, because I've got that kind of area, and then like the Mark Knopfler, like I've got that part down, but usually I can go off from that main thing, but then I'll jump to the octave higher, and then I'll do like connecting them up the neck. I think is the cool thing.
So there's some great ways of doing that, and what I would, I would start using. This is a natural minor scale, and really, that's being or close to an octave of where you are there. So I'm gonna exactly.
Okay.
The way to get there would be on the D string on the 2nd fret, which is your root note. That's your E. I would go 2nd fret, 4th fret, 5th fret.
Yep.
Yeah. You know?
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Yeah? Yeah?
Okay.
You've got those as well, so you're taking that. You're bending on the G string on the 2nd. That's up to your root note.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, 'cause
Right.
this is the E, and like bending it is.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So use that to your advantage, and you know. So you can use those as connectors. And I'm just hitting the B on the G string there. It's on the 4th fret. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the.
Yeah.
Okay. Like
Yeah.
I've done the Hendrix thing where you go downwards, like.
Yeah.
But I've never gone up.
See, I always feel like that lick to me is my exit from the solo. You know?
Yeah.
After I've. You know,
Yeah.
that's how I feel like it concludes in my head.
Yeah.
But working your way up, I feel is So I would. Yeah.
That's really cool.
And then if you're looking at it, you know, you're trying to, I guess, economize in a way and not work so hard. So now you're here, which is your kind of 4 chord, right? This is your A minor to your E minor. So you've got a lot there to play with, and this is just an octave of.
Yep.
Right. Now, to move it up one step from there, I would put in my kind of Rory Gallagher influence, and I'd put a natural minor scale, which is. Right? That's 7th fret on the A, to 9th, to 10th. Same on the D string. Then 8th to 9th on the G. Right?
Okay.
And then 7, 8, 10 on the chord. Sorry.
Alright. Okay.
Same again on the lower. Lovely.
That's really
that's
cool.
Again, Mark Knopfler is going to be playing, you know,
Yeah.
all those licks that you were doing.
Like, I can do that stuff, but I like that Rory Gallagher scale is super cool.
Well, the nice thing about it is it's not a million miles away from what you're doing with the Mark Knopfler thing, so you can mash the two together really easily. Something to the effect of, those kinds of licks where you've already got half of it, right? Just those little trills that.
Okay.
Right. So now we've gone,
Yeah.
Which has already opened up, most of the fret. Lovely.
Yeah, that.
There you go.
I'll have to That's some comfort, I think, that I'll be able to get into once I get used to it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, absolutely. But you've got it under your fingers, and that's another thing I like to do that's kind of Martin Knopfler from here is use those little dyad type. You know, you do that Brothers in Arms.
Yeah.
Those kinds of licks. But exactly.
Yeah.
If you start with your first finger, right, and slide it, right, now it's opening up all of this part of the fretboard.
Yeah.
You're going up another block, right? Right, and that's pretty simple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Slide in, and then you're going on the G, 9, 11, 12. Yep. And then on the B string, you've got this lovely little chromatic thing that you can do, which is 10, 11, 12. So you go.
Ah.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's
and you
really
could do that on the high E too. And another thing that Josh Smith, if you're not hip to him, he's a great blues guitar player. He'll do these little trills where it's and that's just 12, 11, 10. Yeah.
That's really cool. Okay. So let me ask you this. How do you know when it feels right to go into a major scale? Because, like, well, Come Home's obviously a minor scale, so you, like, if you were, like...
Yeah.
You'd never really want to go to the major, like... Because it doesn't really fit. So, like, when you're in a jam, how do you know whether it's safe to go into a major scale?
It really depends on the chords. A good case study might be something like Dear Mr. Fantasy, the Traffic tune.
Okay.
So it's we play that quite a bit live. It's A major, G, D.
Yeah.
And this is where I might start off again thinking of my build. I'm trying to think of, it's almost like Marshall Tucker Band. Can't you see that tune? All those.
Yeah.
Those kinds of licks are what's in my head for something like that. And it's because there's such an obviously major chord in there.
Yeah. I feel like the G invites the happiness of the major scale.
It does. You've got all of these. They're all yeah. Exactly, and that's how I would start it. And then what makes that stick out so much is when you switch to your pentatonic, because you've got this. Right? That's when those two work well. You're trying to use it for impact. So you're almost doing the Allman Brothers kind of sit on it and jam for a while kind of approach. You're just trying to set yourself up for that moment where you can just,
Yeah.
And it's got balls. That's
That's cool.
That's really genuine. I'm not really super well versed. And then again, you're kind of looking at the B.B. King style of that little box shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Those licks.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, so if we're going back to a minor thing, is where we got to, right?
Yeah.
And that brings us right up to our octave point. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
Great. That's just a
cool.
and then that brings us into your kind of box shape there, right? Which is your kind of familiar territory.
Yep, you locked up a little bit, so.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I've just recently gotten into, like, instead of playing this note, just bend it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, and there's two approaches to take there. You could do the Jeff Beck thing and bend a half step up to any note, right? Which is if you wanna go, you go.
Yeah.
That's just going a half step below your target note. You know?
Okay. Yeah, I've even done like the bend on the 16th, like.
Yeah, or the Dave Gilmour.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
The other thing to do with that little half step thing, that bit, is the Rory Gallagher thing of. Yeah.
How did you start to remember whether to go or?
You can use both. Again, this is more of a major feel. Right?
Okay.
You can, if you're in minor. You can really use either, and as long as you're using it as more of an inflection than something to land on, you know, if you're going, it doesn't really work. But if you're going, you know, it's more of a passing note.
Yeah, that gets to be a little bit like Eric Johnson territory when you're landed on the odd ones.
So I can't do it. But yeah,
and I like that a lot. So let's say that you're playing with another lead player, and you guys are like cutting heads or trading licks or whatever, and you want to play chords, but you don't want to just play the regular bar chords, or there's the regular like I see people like doing like the Hendrix or something like that. Like, how do you know like where you can play like rhythm chords, but not in the traditional spots on the neck?
You could just use little inversions, and a good way of using that is the caged system, if you've heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, taking your C, A, G, E, D, and barring them. So C, A, G, E, D. Right?
Oh, wow.
And so what that does is opens up, you know, it helps you economize too. If you're in A minor and you're playing, yeah, exactly, you're playing in A minor and you want to hit an F, right? It's too fucking far away. So make it easy on yourself. If you play a C shape at that same position, right, but with a bar.
I'm on the wrong fret.
That's all right. So you're going to be
fifth
fret, then your regular C shape, which is going to be second finger. There you go. And then make sure your pinky fingers on the 8th fret A string. There you go. Right,
okay.
There's your root note.
Okay. Yeah, I've done some stuff like that without knowing it, with like learning some older like John Mayer songs on acoustic.
Uh-huh. There you go.
Yeah, that's the E. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, Martin Knopfler will do it. Right, that little lick, that's an F sharp major. So it's these miscovered mountains. You'll go E. And that's just taking a D chord. He plays D chords like this. Right. So not ever playing that high string. Your main third is your string.
Okay. That's like an inverted bar chord.
Yeah, and then you just an open D shape that is moving that up at B. Move it up again at F sharp.
Oh, that's really cool. I'm glad I'm recording this.
Mountains. You know, that is because it's way easier. Hello, pup. It's way easier because he's in, you know, G sharp minor. Right?
Yeah.
Instead of going misco, it's too much.
It's funny because I've heard of the caged method, but I had no idea that that's what it was about.
That's how I learned it, and what that helps is when you've got a whole band kicking and 2 guitar players, which is a nightmare. There's a lot of noise, and so you don't really need to go. You know, you don't use the whole guitar. So that is when I choose. All right, instead of playing an E minor, I'm going to do that little Martin Knopfler triad that you had.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to get in the way. That's
Yeah. You could always mix in some Prince. Do some funk.
Yeah, absolutely. And then again, if I wanted to play an E major, there's my little D shape, right?
Yeah.
That we were working on the Brothers in Arms.
Yeah, I would have never, if somebody said play an E that's unorthodox, I would have never went to this.
Sure. But it's got more of a kind of jangly sound to it, than something big and heavy like that. The other one is, you know.
Yep.
Exactly. The nice one about that is you've got the kind of your pinky can reach out to the 12th fret and hit those funk kind of things. So.
Yep.
You know. Great.
Yeah.
And then you've got your octave up here. So yeah, I mean, so sorry, I'm 13th fret on the G.
Yep. That's cool.
So those little things were just G on the 14th fret, like my pinky tucked in on the 14th fret on the high E.
Okay.
I'm just moving it up.
Uh-huh. Okay, so that pulls me to my next question, because
Sure.
I see a lot of people go up the neck like that. So like if you're an A, you're just going, and people can go all the way up the neck. So when you had it stacked when you were showing me how to do it, but when you start, you're not stacked, and then you go into the stack. How do you know when to stop stacking your fingers?
Oh, it's the major scale basically. Is all you're doing. So it's really just So if you're going up in A,
Yep.
so it's not your lowest, it's your highest that is. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're doing a major scale and then harmonizing it with your lower string. That's just a D.
Okay.
So so you go from a D major to an E major. Slide that. Yeah. There you go. Same shape again. There you go.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because I know diatonically how to go down and up the neck, but like I said, only in... Like, for pentatonics, I can go up and down. For diatonics, I can go side to side. Only on one string. Because it's like half flat from the root, and then it's like whole half. Or
right.
Whole half, yeah.
Sure.
I've got that memorized, but not implemented as of yet. This is really cool.
Oh man, so yeah, it's I mean, and Martin Knopfler again is, all of those kinds of things, just trying to harmonize really with yourself. But they're nice little kind of the word I'm looking for, and then they're nice little rules to kind of add a bit of flavor to your solos, really.
Yeah.
And you can use the minor versions of them too. And you're already kind of using those kinds of things. That's just a D minor shape, right? You move it up, it's an E minor. So
yeah,
I mean, my E minor at my octave. So there you go. It adds kind of a flavor for rakes on that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you can get your... That's just... Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where you left that.
Yeah. I just kind of forgot what I did. That's, yeah. It's kind of curling that up. That's a B. So I know that there's a C in my minor scale. So I'm just bending up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Sounds great. Sounds great. And the other little thing for inflections that just kind of make things a little more interesting is just sliding one fret,
Yeah.
Just putting little bits like that. Yeah.
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 That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Those little licks as well. So it's I like this one a lot. It's like a pseudo jazz thing. It's first finger on the B string, 12th fret. I use my little finger a lot on the 15th, and I'm just sliding one fret behind into that. Yeah,
Cool.
that's another one I like. Yeah, so that's using just an E5. If you're just going like, those kinds of chords. If you take that up an octave, so that's my E on 14th fret. And again, I use my little finger, but whatever's comfortable to you. 16th fret on the G. Right, exactly. I find that a really useful jumping off spot. Because then I can use my first finger to hit my kind of those licks. So that's 14, 15 on the G, and then 17 fret on the D, 17 on the D. Yeah, there you go. Right. So slowly.
That's cool.
Yeah, and those kinds of lead me into my next part of the neck, right?
Yeah.
So I can go higher from there. So I've got my. You know, so all I'm doing here is an octave of what we did up here.
Yep.
And then that brings me into that part of the neck, which is that part of the neck.
Yep.
So, sorry, I'm on 17th and, was that? Yeah. 17th to 19th. Yeah, great. The nice thing about this part of the neck is you've got your open E, right?
Yep.
You should use it at this point because your foot's going to be on the monitor and it's going to be kind of, this is your rock and roll moment. So, those things.
Yeah.
When you're bringing in that high open E string. It's, yeah. I'm just hitting it,
Yeah.
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 Right.
It's funny because whenever I hear, I usually think,
yeah,
because that's the pentatonic that everybody knows. I would never guess that would be here on the G string, like that's a G bend instead of a B bend.
Yeah, you can absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a lot you can do with both of them.
That's cool.
This one's almost got a bit more noise to it. You got an extra string in place.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. So that's and then. Yeah. And then that's where you can kind of do your. Your kind of Hendrixy out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a good way of building our way up the fretboard, really.
Yeah.
Helps connect the dots for me. And there's never, anything wrong with a bit of chromaticism too. All those kinds of notes in between that help make things, a little interesting. It's just filling in the gaps.
Yeah,
man. Any questions? Is this useful so far?
Yeah, it's really useful, and I'm glad I'm recording it because I can go back and relive it.
Sure. Brilliant.
So
yeah. Go on,
here's a completely different question. So
go for it.
I play in like rock bands. I do a Kiss tribute band, and I like to play blues, obviously. But I sat in with a bunch of country dudes, and when I play rhythm, I can jump on their rhythms really quick. But when it comes time to solo, I can't solo blues like in country because the chord changes are so different. So how do you
It's all very major for the most part, right?
Yeah.
Some little licks to help you with that. I mean, I am not a country player.
Me neither. I don't even like country. I just like to have it in the repertoire.
I mean, a good. If you don't know that major, the kind of standard major scale thing is really, really useful. I mean, that's all.
Yeah.
It's really, that would be how I would approach it, would be coming at it from a...
Yeah.
I'm really not a country player, but those... So that would be your B.B. King scale, or your B.B. King area. So
Yeah.
if you're an A, you're really playing in D major. So you'd have your first finger anchored to that A, which is on D. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Cool.
And yeah, your kind of relative major. So if you take your A, you take a minor pentatonic and you move it down a minor third. So you're moving it down 4 frets.
Mm-hmm.
So you're playing an F sharp minor
Yep.
pentatonic, right?
Yep.
That's your relative major. So all of that's up for grabs.
Okay. Okay, that's good. I can work with that.
That's just
Yeah.
those. Yeah, and also don't be afraid to use some open notes, because in A especially. And I'm just, open 2/4. Those are.
Now, when you pick, are you picking with your pick and a finger?
I tend to, I hybrid pick quite a bit.
So how are you holding? Are you holding your pick like? Okay, so you're holding it with your finger parallel with the tip like this.
Yeah.
Okay, and then your thumb is like crossed with your finger.
Exactly. Yeah, it's almost like a right angle.
Okay, when did you start holding the pick like that?
I think I always have.
Okay, because
I
started playing when I was 12, and I used to have to hold it like this.
Oh, me too.
And then I would play like that, and I never unlearned. So I'm trying to learn how to play like this, but now my fingertip is not in line with the end of the pick. And
is that a small pick?
Yeah, it's a Jazz 3.
Okay. Yeah, you see, I'm not sure I would be able to use my technique with that. It's just probably wouldn't leave enough.
But and everything that I'm researching is saying that you can pick faster if you hold the pick correctly, and you hold the pick correctly.
Do I?
And I don't.
Yeah, that's just what ended up being comfortable.
Okay.
And
then because the way that you rotate your forearms and stuff, I guess scientifically allows you to pick faster, and I can't physically do that the way I hold my pick.
I think it's also to do with how relaxed you are. If your whole arm is moving, you're in trouble, right? And a good way of practicing that for me is to root almost like your palm using everything, because then it's stopping this whole portion of your arm from moving. Really, you've got to just rely on You're just trying to just to try and minimize your movements. If the further away your pick is from the strings, the more you're going to have to move it, the slower you're going to be. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I guess it's to do with making sure you're not working harder than you need to be.
Yeah, and it's for me, it's two habits. It's making sure that I'm holding it correctly, making sure that I'm anchored correctly, and making sure that I'm being articulate picking. And it's, playing guitar for this long and having to retrain your right arm is a bit...
It's got to be hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also just not to be tense. Everything's got to be really relaxed. If you're feeling a lot of tension in it, you're not going to get quick. It's got to be relaxed.
So could somebody slap the pick out of your hand if you weren't paying attention? Sure. That's how loose you hold it?
It's pretty loose, yeah. And obviously I'm squeezing it at different things. If I'm, obviously there's going to be more, but that's really light. I'm really not. I'm just barely holding on to that.
Okay.
So it's,
yeah. And again, when I was a kid learning how to play, I'm giving this thing like the death grip, So I've been holding it as tight, not as tight as I can, but been holding it pretty tight since I learned how to play. So I have to untrain myself of that too.
Yeah, sure. And rhythm is the same. It should be light because it should be bouncing.
Yeah.
Cool. Sure. Yeah, man. If that helps. And again, with speed, making sure your left hand isn't leaping off of the fretboard too, which is something that a lot of people tend to do, is make big movements. The lower they are to the string, the less they have to travel. I don't know, that's something else that... Let's try and make it easier on yourself.
Yeah, it makes physical sense.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think anything else I can help you with here?
What are you playing? What are you playing through?
I have a deluxe, one of the reissue deluxes.
Okay.
And a revival drive, Origin Effects. I think it sounds great. I love it. But it's nice. I've got my signature Bluto tone here too, which sounds good. But when you get it cooking at a gig is where it really, that's where it shines.
Yeah, I think that's what you were playing last time I saw you in Callahan's.
Yeah, I think it would have been. Yeah.
Cool.
But this is, it's nice for lower volumes and slightly cleaner. That's kind of fuzzed out stuff. And I love this, the Vela, the RS Vela. It's a spectacular guitar. It's
Yeah, I saw you got that little acoustic too. Those look pretty cool.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. They're about $500, I think. The thing is.
Yeah.
Just absolutely, great.
That hybrid picking's badass. I have to learn how to do some of that.
I can show you some exercises.
Yeah.
I wanted to hybrid pick because of Richard Thompson. Because I love the sound he gets. It's just absolutely stunning. And so I made a conscious effort. If I wanted to finger pick anything, it's a song I was familiar with, a song I was learning, anything, I had to have a pick in my hand. That towards getting that going. And the other thing I found was finger per string kind of deal. So if I'm holding down a C chord, just to make it somewhat musical. I'm going C, my E, and the G. So that's my second finger coming down for the next string and my third finger.
Okay.
And I'm almost always leaning my two fingers on the respective string. So,
okay.
Yeah, so it's there. And then so I'd go... Just rolling, really.
And you don't pick with your pinky?
No, not really. And then I kind of progress to, all right, I'm going to take that same pattern, that same shape, and move my pick down a string and start from there. So I go,
okay,
right, and then down again. So,
okay,
and that's a really good exercise for that. Just doing that over and over. When you're sat in front of the telly, the guitar doesn't have to be plugged in.
Yeah, and you're not flat picking that. Your pick's at an angle at that point, isn't it?
It's about the same as it normally is.
Okay. Okay.
The other side of this is a great tool for rhythm playing. When you're not wanting to go, big racket. Those are the things where I'm just pinching. Again, it's I'm playing three strings. The lowest with my pick, and the next two down, those two fingers. And I'm just squeezing them, pinching them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Lovely.
Because I can do it with my thumb, and with my thumb and my index finger connected, it's harder to do. Because I can do it with my...
Yeah.
But I'm used to having my thumb and my index finger doing different strings. When
Right.
it's connected with a pick, it's like a different language all of a sudden.
Yeah, but you're getting used to it really quick. Just if you train yourself, all right, every time I want to make that sound, I have to have a pick in my hand. It's like a psychological thing, really, too. And then the other side of it is a lot of people. It sounded like you got it, but the reaction a lot of people have is, well, now my bass note is way louder than these notes because my pick is hitting it and my fingers are neat. The natural reaction to that I've found is, well, I'm going to really kind of use my fingers and try and dig in. Should be the opposite way around. Be lighter with your pick to match the volume of your fingers.
Okay.
Because your fingers are never going to sound like a pick, but you can just be softer with the pick, and that'll help even that out.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Do it the kind of opposite way around. Yeah, that little exercise of... You can get to changing chords then. That'll help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. How many guitar lessons have you done so far with this Club Q thing?
Oh, Christ. I want to say 20 or 30.
Yeah.
Something like that. The thing is I'm really not, I'm not particularly theory based. I know enough to get me by and to help communicate to my band.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the way I learned. I learned by learning songs and robbing bits and bobs from that.
Yeah, me too, for the most part. But what's been the talent level of the people that have wanted lessons from you? Have you ever thought, like, what the hell am I going to teach this guy?
everyone should be doing this for a laugh, right? It's just the sheer joy of it. So I would never want to make fun of someone who is is just starting out or is particularly not bonding with it in the way that some others have.
Yeah.
But there was one guy in particular that had been playing on and off for 7 years and hadn't quite gotten around to how to change between open chords, right? And he was struggling with that. And so I was trying to figure out some ways, all right, how can we make this easier so he can at least learn some of his songs and not that he wants to and not get frustrated. So, we were going, for that for a G and a C.
Yeah.
And as soon as I taught him that, immediately, without missing a beat, he said, all right, what Dire Straits songs can you teach me? I was just like, let's get this down, and then we'll look at Telegraph Road. It's gonna be a while.
Or you could just teach him a bar chord and go into Sultans of Swing.
But yeah, he was struggling a bit with bars.
Yeah.
So it was that was a bit of a challenge, I have to say.
Yeah.
But again, to me, you don't have to play sweep picking, or you don't have to go up and down arpeggios at lightning speed. If you just want to do G, C, and D, that is just as valid to me.
Yeah.
It's about the joy of doing it. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, that was the last guy that owned that Junior. It's
Yeah.
G, C, and D, pretty much. You can tell by the wear on the thing.
Brilliant. Yeah. My National is the same way, my old National guitar. There were just divots in the first 4 frets.
Yep.
You could just see it on the fingerboard. You just think, wow, what a wonderful life this guitar has had.
Yeah.
Someone just bashing away on that, and it's been brilliant.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, it really is. So it's all for the joy of it. And as soon as it starts to feel frustrating, or if it should move on to something else with it, because you're never going to master it ever, but you're never going to get past that point if you get angry with it. It's supposed to be a joyful thing. Yeah.
Well, this was really fun, and I think it was well worth the money and the time. Like it's cool just to sit down with you in my house and talk about licks and stuff, because we wouldn't have the opportunity to do that at a show.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would do this at least once a year if I had the opportunity. So I'm not sure if you've ever thought about doing this perpetually, or if this is just a special thing.
At first the whole Club Q thing was, holy shit, I've lost my job. How am I going to support my family? Right. That was the initial thought. And as time has gone on, and we're 57 days into this now, I just did the 57th update. It has been wonderful for me as a musically as an exercise of learning a load of songs, learning a load of stuff, and hopefully helping people with teaching too. So I can absolutely see this going on past the lockdown environment, but it all depends in what capacity, because once I start touring again, all of this time is gone. So I would absolutely like to carry this on, but I have to figure out in what capacity it can without taking up every second of every day.
Yeah, or like maybe only when you're not touring or something. Yeah, that makes sense.
From an update point of view, if it's like a subscription kind of thing, then it's got to be more of a weekly update than a daily thing.
Yeah.
All of that stuff.
Yeah. And I was just saying, like, in context of, like, having lessons, not, like, keeping up the site or keeping up the posts. Because that's a whole other job right there.
Oh, it is. It's full-time.
Yeah.
It's turning into a full-time thing, which is great. I'm still working. I'm really lucky. But the lesson thing, I once I'm, if I'm off the road, then absolutely.
Yeah,
but
that's cool.
It's also a qualified teacher. I owe you my approach, but I'm if someone comes up and says, well, I need you to help me with this Just Satriani tune, I'm going to say, here's your money back.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I'm not going to be able to do that. So, it's, yeah. If that answers your question.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Ah, man. Well, look, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for being a part of this. Thanks for signing up. If you have any questions at the end, I know you've recorded it, which is amazing. But just reach out if I can help you with anything.
Okay, yeah, and the same to you. If there's any other way I can help you, with anything you need, let me know.
Thank you very much indeed, mate.
All right, have a good Memorial weekend.
And you enjoy.
Thanks.
Cheers, Nick.
Cheers.
Bye now.